Today's lesson is 2-3C from the Algebra Readiness textbook. For today's lesson, you will need a sharpened pencil, your notes packet, and the study guide complete. Pause the video, complete these problems, and then come on back to see how you did. All right. The first thing you're asked to do is to simplify the expression. I see I have two terms in this expression, 9g plus 4g. I see that they are like terms, so that means I can add them together and call them 3g. Number 8, simplify this expression. To simplify the expression, it's easiest if I rewrite all subtraction as adding the opposite. 8g plus negative 6 plus 4g plus negative 6. Now, then I can use the commutative property to get my like terms by each other. 8g plus 4g plus negative 6 plus negative 6. Then I can use the associative property to group these together. 4g plus 8g is 12g. Negative 6 plus negative 6 is negative 12, or 12g minus 12. The next one, identify parts of this variable expression. Put that over here. Okay, so in this variable expression, name the coefficients. The coefficients are the numbers in front of or being multiplied by a variable. 6, 2, and 5 are my coefficients. Notice I did not label the variables when I labeled the coefficients. Name the like terms. I have one set of like terms. They are 6a and 5a. Lastly, I need to name the constant. The constant is negative 7. If you would rewrite this, it would be 6a plus 2b plus 5a plus negative 7. So negative 7 is my constant. All right. The learning target for today is to use the distributive property to simplify expressions. So really, we're just combining two skills that we already know how to do. So let's remember what we have learned already, and so that way we can put these two skills together. So first, we learned that if we're doing this, we want to simplify this expression, we would simply rearrange the numbers so that the like terms are beside each other. So we would rewrite this as 5a plus 3a plus 2b, and then I'm going to change that to plus negative 7b. Change subtraction to adding the opposite. I did that by using the commutative property of addition. Now that I have these together, my like terms together, I can group them. Grouping them is the associative property. 8a plus negative 5b. That is the associative property. Now, you could end it right there, or you could call it 8a minus 5b. Both of those answers are correct. Okay? Next, look on the right. Okay, I'll draw a line here. 3 times 3 plus g. You learned that when you are using the distributive property, you multiply each number in the parentheses by the number outside of the parentheses. Some people like to make these little rainbows to show their work. This means 3 times 3 plus 3 times g. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 3g. And that's the answer. Then we're done. Now we're going to take these two skills and put them together. So we're going to simplify 4g plus 3 times 3 plus g. Now, in order to do that, I need to do the distributive property first. So I see that this is a positive 3g, and I am going to distribute that. Please ignore the 4g for right now. We need to remove those parentheses first. So I rewrite this as 4g plus 9 plus 3g. And that was the distributive property. So I'm going to justify it over here on the right, or explain my steps. Next, I need to get my like terms by each other so that I can combine them. 4g plus 3g plus 9. And that's the commutative property of addition. And now I can combine them. 4g and 3g are like terms. I can call that 7g plus 9. And that's the associative property. Now, I cannot combine 7g and 9 because they are not like terms. This is my answer right here. That's all I have left. Okay. Next, let's try these two. These are similar. The first thing you should do is distribute. That means when you see a number outside a set of parentheses, each term in the parentheses needs to be multiplied by 7. So I have 7x plus 7z plus 6. Notice I did not multiply the 6 by 7. Only what's in the parentheses is being multiplied by 7. Then I combine any like terms. I don't have any like terms, so that is my answer. This is the first time we've seen an answer that has 3 terms, but it's okay. It's okay to leave it that way. All right, in the next example, 8c plus 5 times parentheses, or the quantity, c minus 3. Well, everything in this set of parentheses needs to be multiplied by 5. So 8c plus 5c minus 15. Now I'm going to combine my like terms. My like terms are already by each other. So using the associative property, I am going to call this 13c minus 15. And that was from the associative property. And this is your answer. You cannot combine it any further than that. All right. Now, if there's a negative sign outside of the set of parentheses, like in this example, you distribute the negative sign. The negative 3 also. Make sure that you remember that if you have a variable that does not have a coefficient, you should write the coefficient 1 in, because that really means 1a. It's just invisible, because 1 times a is really a. So we're going to take everything in this set of parentheses, and we're going to multiply it by negative 3. Negative 3 times 1a is negative 3a plus negative 15 plus 9. So I use the distributive property first. Now I need to combine my like terms. My like terms are the 2 constants, the 2 numbers without variables. And so the associative property allows me to add those together first, and I get negative 6. I can leave it like this, or I could rename this as negative 3a minus 6. Make sure you're okay with these both meaning the same thing. Okay. The next one, let's do one more together here. This is 5 times 2y plus 1, that quantity, 2y plus 1, and then minus 7y. So I need to use the distributive property first. And when I have 5 being multiplied by that parentheses, everything in the parentheses will be multiplied by 5. 5 times 2y is 10y. 5 times 1 is 5. Okay. Then I need to rearrange my numbers so that my variables, my like terms are together. The commutative property allows me to do that. Then the associative property lets me group them. 5 plus 3y. Okay, hopefully you're getting the hang of this. Let's have you try some on your own. Simplify these expressions, or simplify the expression A and justify each step. And then With letter B, I want to show you that I see that there's some subtraction going on in here. Whenever we have subtraction, we want to rename this as adding the opposite. This is going to be pretty important, especially with this example, because it's the -2 that you need to multiply by 5 and by 1x. So pause the video right now and give these two a try, and then come on back and compare your answers. All right, folks, so the first thing that you should do is rewrite all subtraction as adding the opposite. Some people get really good at it and they go like this and they sneak it in there, and that's totally fine with me if you want to do that. And then make sure you put your coefficients in if they're not listed. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is get your like terms next to each other. So I'm going to switch around the 4m and the -7m. And then after that, we're going to group these together. I get -1y, and then we're going to group this with the associative property, -1y plus 5m. Okay? Then this one, letter B. This is one identical to the one that's going to show up on your quiz and on your test. So make sure, maybe put a star by this one so you're positive that you know how to do this problem. Do you see that you have a negative sign here? So I need to distribute that -2. So 4x plus 3 plus -10, because -2 times 5 is -10, plus -2x, because -2 times 1x is -2x. Then I'm just going to tell you the properties because I don't have room here to write it on the right-hand side. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I need to get this -2 over here. So I'm going to switch these places. 4x plus -2x plus 3 plus -10. Now you can see my like terms are by each other. 4x minus 2x is 2x when I combine those. And then 3 plus -10 is -7. You could leave it there, or you could write it as -2x minus 7. Make sure you understand how to do that problem. Okay, here are some other problems very similar. This is another one. Whoops. This is another one like you'll see on your test where it's got a minus sign. The biggest thing kids want to do is they want to say 12 minus 4 is 8. And they want to say and distribute the 8. That's wrong. You must distribute because it's multiplying. You multiply before you add or subtract. So let's rewrite this. 12 plus -4. So we change this to adding the opposite. Okay. Then I can see that I need to distribute the -4. In your notes, write this down because you're going to forget. Distribute before adding or subtracting. Write this down by this problem. Give it a couple exclamation points, underlines, highlight it. Make sure you've got that down. Okay, so 12 plus a -4 times a -8 is positive 32v. -4 times 17, let's see, 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 7 is 28, so 68. So plus -68. Okay, now I see I've got some like terms. So I am going to use the commutative property to switch the order of these. And so I get 32v, and then plus -56. Now, this is the same thing as 32v minus 56. Those two problems mean the same thing. All right, pause the video, try the next one, and then press continue when you're ready to compare your answer. Okay, hopefully you've tried this one on your own. I see that I have a distributive property part of this problem. So 12x plus 6y. So both of these were being multiplied by 6. Now, then I just finished writing out the rest of the problem, but I'm going to change all subtraction to adding the opposite. Now I'm going to put all of my like terms next to each other. So 12x plus negative 12x plus 6y plus 2y. That was the commutative property that allowed me to do that. Now I'm going to use the associative property to group those. 12x plus negative 12x is 0, and so that doesn't equal anything. 6y plus 2y is 8y. My answer is 8y. Okay, let's try two more. Pause the video, try these, and then come on back to compare. Okay, hopefully you've had enough time. All right, the first thing we're going to do is all of our multiplying. 7 times 2w is 14w, plus 2 times w is 2w, and then 2 times 3 is 6. Then I want to put my like terms together. They already are. So now I can combine the like terms, and I get 16w minus 6. The associative property allowed me to group those, and this is my answer. Okay, the next one, this is 1n. I see that this is the distributive property, so each term in the parentheses will be multiplied by 2. 2 times 1n is 2n, and then I'm going to change that to adding the opposite, adding negative 4. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8 plus 3. Then I'm going to combine my like terms of negative 8 plus 3, 2n plus negative 5, or 2n minus 5. Either one of these answers is acceptable. All right, hopefully you have seen how we can use both the distributive property and combining like terms to simplify some pretty big expressions. So let's give it some independent practice here on 2-3C, page 80, numbers 20 through 32.